I'm Nicole Arciello, and welcome to In Behalf of Animals, and happy holidays. I can't believe we've reached a milestone today, our 8th episode. Did you know that 90% of podcasts never make it to this point? Whether this is your first time listening or you've been with me since episode 1, your support, your listens, and your shares have brought us here. This podcast is about building a community of people who care deeply about animals and knowing that you're out there listening, reflecting, and taking action makes all the difference. It's been an incredible experience creating this podcast and working alongside so many of you who are passionate about making the world a kinder place for animals. Today's episode is one I've been reflecting on for a while. As vegans, we carry an incredible weight. We live with the knowledge of what happens to animals every single day. And to make matters worse, many of the people we love are still participating in the very thing we are working so hard to fight against. They're eating animals, they're wearing animals, and buying products tested on animals, and the list goes on. It's hard. It's heartbreaking. And it can feel lonely. For many of us, we've become known as the vegan friend, the vegan cousin, or even the weird vegan one. But here's the thing. We need to be more than that. We shouldn't normalize the notion that we vegans are outliers. I mean, we aren't just vegan for the heck of it, or to be difficult or make it hard for people to invite us to dinner. It's an ethical stance, right? It's a commitment to fight for justice. And while many of us might choose to stay quiet at those holiday or family gatherings, the truth is, silence doesn't help the animals. And it also doesn't empower us to be their voice. Now, I'm not saying that we be confrontational or unpack the soapbox and stand up and preach. To truly make an impact, though, I think we need to learn how to share the whys of our veganism in a way that inspires curiosity and compassion rather than defensiveness. Okay, Nicole, so how do we do that? Well, I think it's important to approach conversations with empathy. We're good at that, right? Remember that most people don't wake up thinking, I'm going to harm animals today. They're simply following habits, cultural norms they've never questioned. So here is where we remember where we came from. It's hard to remind ourselves of what we were like or who we were in our pre-vegan days. Maybe we didn't want to see the realities. It hurt to realize our actions cause unimaginable suffering and pain. And I'm not an expert or a therapist, but maybe people joke or tease because they feel uncomfortable sitting with our choices, sitting near us, which means maybe that they're more open to listening than we think. I think there are more opportunities to share our vegan journeys than we think also. How many times have we heard someone say, "Oh, I could never go vegan"? Well, I think we often allow the conversation to stop there with that absolute statement, right? But my answer has changed to, well, after knowing everything that I know, I could never not be vegan. I find that makes the other person stop and think. And a great conversation can grow from that. Maybe talk about how cows don't have to give milk. They don't just give milk. They're not in the field waiting, for someone to come milk them. A lot of people still think that. Talk a little bit about how the cycle of abuse starts, how they are forced to become pregnant over and over again, repeatedly to produce milk, and how their babies are torn away again and again. Talk about veal cows. Start that conversation. Then listen and answer questions as they come, and maybe you'll have the opportunity to elaborate more. I bet you have aunts and cousins who are already drinking almond or oat milk, and this might inspire them to seek out more information on their own, or they might reach out to you again. You may be surprised. This one might be a hard one for some people. I don't like to lead with health benefits, and I'll probably have a whole episode about that. But I believe you should always talk about the animals. Bring the family pets into the conversation. And when health questions come up, share your journey. Answer those questions thoughtfully but truthfully. Don't just say statements like vegans never get cancer or they'll never have high blood pressure, because we know vegans get sick too. But maybe talk about how you are healthy and you are standing strong without that dreaded protein deficiency. Have those high protein vegan foods at the top of your mind so you can list them out. But it's important to remember that advocacy can look different for everyone. I can stay here for hours talking about what works for me, but you are an individual. You have a history with the people you are talking to. Maybe you're not comfortable having direct conversations, and that's okay. Maybe you prefer sharing content on social media, wearing activism gear. Those things spark conversation as well. Maybe you support organizations doing the work, and maybe you can purchase gifts from a vegan or animal rights company, and that would provoke some thought. If people see cruelty-free on items that you're buying, it aligns with your values. So maybe they'll start looking into it too, or you can tell them why you use that soap company, why you use this compassionate brand of chocolates or clothing or whatever. Let's move beyond just being that vegan friend, that vegan relative, and become a voice for the animals every chance we get. But my number one advocacy tip in gatherings will always be bring some amazing vegan food to share. Whether it's almond milk eggnog, bake up some great vegan cookies, head to the local vegan bakery, and arrive with the most decadent dessert. And that will spark conversations for sure. Always share food. And that's probably another episode too. And don't forget to support those people as they begin their journeys. Maybe Aunt Sally was asking you about a recipe, or you guys had a really great conversation. Send her some recipes. Send her your favorite vegan recipe website the next day. Or thank that friend and family member with an emoji-filled text for the nice conversation you had with them the night before. Because we know that every meal, every purchase, every choice matters. So every interaction and every conversation is important. And every time we speak up, we plant a seed. Look, not everyone will change overnight. But the more we advocate, the more we create a ripple effect that spreads awareness and compassion. And then we start sharing why we are the vegan person that we are. So as we head into the new year, let's commit to being more than just the weird vegan friend, relative, cousin. Let's commit to being the kind, informed, and courageous advocates the animals need us to be. Let's make 2025 the year we amplify our voices even more for the animals. Thank you for being here, for caring, and for doing this work. If you've enjoyed this episode, please follow or subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, a comment, and share with others. Let's keep building this community of advocates together. And if you're new here, welcome. After you listen to this episode, I encourage you to go back and binge the first 7. There's so much we've already covered, from powerful interviews to insights about making a difference for the animals. And if you find something inspiring, please share it with a friend or post on social media. Together, we can expand this compassionate community. Our social media and our website, inbehalfofanimals.org, are in the show notes, and we would love to hear from you. Drop us a note, a comment, a question, a show idea. Thank you again for listening, for caring, and being a part of this journey with me. Here's to a bright and compassionate year ahead. Until next time, be a voice for the animals every chance you get.